board. Public input is welcomed for items on the Design Review Committee's agenda, and we invite everyone who wishes to participate to be heard. We ask that all speakers come up to the central podium, state their name and address for the record, and be concise in their comments. Thank you for your interest and participation. Please silence all mobile devices at this time. And with that, I will turn the meeting over to our new board chair, Mr. Christopher Olson.
Hey, thank you. All right, I'll call the meeting to order and take roll. Myself, I'm here. Melinda.
Here.
Lynn Dennis.
Here.
Landis Fleming.
Here.
Jeremy Moses. Absent. Cesar Perez.
Here.
Michelle Porter.
Michael,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yes, I'm here.
I was thinking Michelle Sylvester.
I'm here too.
And John White is not present. All right, we have a quorum. So let's see, review and approve previous August 25th, 2022 board meeting minutes. Any approval?
Second.
Second, all right. Simple vote. All in favor of approving?
Aye.
All right. Any objections? No. All right. Emily, would you like to provide an update on the resurvey?
Sure.
Thank you.
So the field work for the survey, meaning our consultant Paleo West, will be out in the East and South Lake Morton historic districts, resurveying all of the buildings in those districts. So that field work will be taking place October 4th through the 12th. So next month, you should be seeing people in brightly colored neon vests out there walking the streets, doing the surveys. They actually don't use a paper-based system any longer. They'll have their tablets out there, so they'll be able to record the information about the buildings, take photographs, note the geographic coordinates. So it's all very, fancy. It's all very technologically advanced. So I just wanted to let you all know that the project is moving along, and after that survey work takes place, they'll bring all that data back and create new Florida master site file forms, which will be used to generate a new report for both of those historic districts. So that is my update, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. All right, new business. Welcome a new board member, Mr. Michael Porter.
Welcome, Michael.
Would you introduce yourself?
Sure. I am a local architect. I work for the Lunds Group here in town. I have been in Lakeland for, let's see, it's been, I believe, 8 years now. I have owned my home in Lake Hunter Terrace for about the last 5. And I've been married to my beautiful wife for the last 3 of them. So.
Well, welcome. All right, so.
He's more well-behaved than Dan also.
I'm brand new. I don't know if you have enough to say that. But.
All right, so we need to nominate and appoint a new person to the Design Review Committee with Dan's exit from us, or retirement, I guess, from the board for temporary anyway.
And typically the way we do this is by the longest standing board members that aren't already on the Design Review Committee. So that would be Michelle Sylvester and Cesar Perez. I believe they started at the same time.
Yep.
So if one of them would like to volunteer, that would be great.
Sure, I will. I mean, if it's okay with you.
Michelle, are you good with that?
I'm fine with that.
All right. All right, so do we need to motion on that?
Yes, we need a motion on that.
Okay.
How about I nominate Cesar Perez for the Design Review Committee?
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any? No? All right, welcome, Cesar. All right. Any other business before we move on to design review? All right, motion to adjourn.
Okay, we are going.
So moved.
Oh, yeah.
All right, all in favor of adjourning? Aye. Aye.
Would like to call the September 22nd, 2022 meeting of the Design Review Committee to order. And the first item of business is a roll call. Myself, Melinda Rinker, I'm here. Chris Olson.
Here.
Lynn Dennis. Here. Landis Fleming.
Here.
Jeremy Moses. John White. And Cesar Perez. Do we have a quorum then?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Okay, so Jeremy, okay. Let's see, sorry. Thank you for the notes, Emily. Much appreciated on this as we learn the process here. You know, it's very different sitting to the side and just listening to it happening versus versus, oh, it's me. So are there any corrections or additions to the minutes of the August 25th, 2022 meeting minutes?
Move for approval?
Is there any second?
Oh, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. We're going to next review the certificates of review administratively approved between August 17th and September 14th. There are 16 cases. Has everybody had a moment to look at those? Just double check on here. Let's see, what page?
Page 9.
Thank you. Which is 13 and 42 on here. I know, right? Okay, are there any questions on those? Those have all been approved by staff, and no motion is required on that. The next thing we're going to do is consideration of certificate of review applications. Right now, we're entering the public hearing portion of the meeting, and the committee is ready to consider the certificate of review applications. Our Assistant City Attorney, Jared Simpson, will administer the oath for all who wish to testify during the public hearing. If you plan on speaking to the board, please stand up and raise your right hand.
If you're going to speak to the board today, if you could stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay. Our first one is HPB 22-176, 807 West Belmar Street. Final approval is requested for the new construction of a single-family house at this address. The owner is Merlin Properties of Central Florida, LLC. The applicant is Mr. Tony Pagan of Platinum Construction. Are there any conflicts of interest among the committee members? Seeing none, we can move forward. Emily, would you read the staff report and recommendations, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So the subject property is, the subject property is proposed to be split from 1121 South Lincoln Avenue and will consist of 0.12 acres. It'll be 60 feet wide by 89 feet deep. This lot currently has a masonry detached garage, which will be demolished. Approval for this demolition was granted by the Design Review Committee in February 2021 as part of a larger request to make minor exterior alterations to the house located at 1121 South Lincoln Avenue in preparation for the lot split. The site plan shows the lot split proposed by the applicant as well as the existing residence at 1121 South Lincoln Avenue, which will remain. And the applicant requests to build a one-story, single-family house consisting of approximately 1,583 square feet of living area. The home will feature a neo-traditional aesthetic reflecting the bungalow style with stylistic elements such as a gabled roof with a gable and hip front roof and porch, supported by square columns on plinths, lap siding, corner boards, and front facade windows with a 4/1 light configuration. And this is just a slide showing the floor plan. Materials proposed for the new house include a concrete stem wall with a 21-inch raised foundation, hardy lap siding, hardy trim and casing, vinyl single-hung sash windows, metal doors, fiberglass architectural shingles on a 5/12 pitch roof, hardy fascia with vinyl soffit, a concrete porch floor and steps, and hardy wrap columns and plinths. And the exterior paint color palette was not provided. The site plan for the proposed new construction shows orientation of the home's front facade towards West Belmar Street. The proposed building setbacks and porch depth for the house meet the Land Development Code's urban neighborhood standards. And this request was evaluated using the standards and guidelines referenced here. Adjacent to the subject property along West Belmar Street exists several one-story houses that exhibit the bungalow frame vernacular and masonry vernacular styles. Staff finds that the proposed new house is compatible in massing and scale to contributing bungalow and frame vernacular houses found throughout the Dixieland Historic District. The scale and proportion of the house and its architectural elements, including roof pitch and floor-to-ceiling heights, is also compatible with adjacent structures. Staff finds that the proposed materials are consistent with residences in the surrounding neighborhood and the design guidelines. The design of the house displays a neo-traditional style that is compatible with the architectural character of the district. Features such as the gable and hip front porch with columns supported by plinths and lap siding are consistent with historical architectural styles found in the neighborhood, as well as the design guidelines. However, for design consistency on all four sides of the house, staff recommends that the windows on the side and rear elevations feature the same divided light configuration, as well as trim and casing as the windows on the front elevation. Finally, the proposed placement of the house on the lot is consistent with the design guidelines and urban neighborhood standards in terms of orientation, building setbacks, and porch depth. The front setbacks of the houses on either side of the subject property are 20 feet, and that's 1121 South Lincoln Avenue, and 12 feet, which is 811 West Belmar Street, which demonstrates compatibility with the building setbacks of the proposed home of 16 feet at the front porch and 21 feet at the face of the exposed front elevation. So staff recommends final approval of the request with the following conditions to be reviewed and approved by staff prior to permitting. Number one, windows on the side and rear elevations shall feature the same divided light configuration and trim and casing as the windows on the front elevation. Number two, windows shall comply with the following requirements. A, windows must have exterior mounted muntins. B, windows also must be recessed to provide a shadow line and not installed flush to the exterior wall surface. C, windows also must include historically appropriate trim, including header, sill, and apron. Number three, hardy lap siding shall have an exposure of 6 inches or less. Number four, use a front door that has a half or quarter light window. Number five, submit an exterior paint color palette for staff review. And thank you, Madam Chair.
Is the applicant here today? Do you have anything to say regarding this and regarding the recommendations? Please come and state your name and address.
Morning, everyone. My name is Tony Pagan. I'm at 1221 Fossil Road in Polk City.
Are you in agreement with these? Do you have any thoughts or comments on this?
No, ma'am, we're in agreement.
In agreement. Okay. Then we can move on to the public comment portion. Does anybody have any questions in regard to this?
Why was there not a site plan with the setbacks and all?
There is a site plan submitted. Here, let's see. It's right here. The front setback, as you can see there, is 16 feet to the front porch and 21 feet to the exposed front elevation. The side setbacks are 7 feet and on the west side and 17 feet 8 inches on the east side. And then the rear setback is 15 feet.
Okay. Any other public commentary?
I had some questions for the applicant if they'd enlighten me some on, I was wondering what the material on the bottom of the columns would be. It doesn't really specify that, just it says decorated wrap columns with hardy trim. And I was curious, since it shows on the plan as a masonry bottom to that, if you were also planning on wrapping that in hardy, that would be pretty appropriate. It just doesn't specify on there. So if you're looking at the elevation, your front columns at the porch, you have a pedestal kind of base to that, plinth base.
The 18 inches?
Yeah.
We don't have a preference. It can either be CMU and we can wrap it with hardy, or we can do a 4x4 post that
4x4
goes to the bottom of it and we can wrap it with hardy. Either way, on the outside of it, it'll still have the decker and hardy trim, which will match and be consistent with the rest of the house.
Okay. Another question that I had that is, it says vinyl softening for the project. I was curious on if you have any notion right now on how you're going to be building this, whether you're going to be venting the attic or not. Because if you're providing a vented attic, would be a great opportunity to provide the typical ventilations that you have at the front of your elevation that a lot of our historic homes have, where they have what used to be sometimes attic fans or ventilation with that. That's really appropriate for this kind of house, and if you are doing that, I think that'd be a wonderful thing to add to this that makes it fit in with the neighborhood better.
Absolutely, we can add a triangular.
If you're doing a sealed attic, we wouldn't do that. But.
No, sir. But absolutely, we can add a vented triangle and soffit at the top of those, front and back.
Do the houses on either side of this have that front attic venting, or what are we looking at there as well?
The one on the left may.
It appears to, if you zoom in.
The one on the right definitely does not. But a triangular gable vent with 90-degree lattice would be appropriate.
Okay. Is there any other?
That's just a suggestion. It's not
Yeah.
Unless,
something that
Yeah.
yeah, unless you make it part of the.
You could equally handle it with ridge vents, which are not really shown.
The ridge
On your
vents
plans
are
are-
noted on the roof plan, I believe.
Was
We
that?
also have roof vent, offset ridge vents, I believe.
Okay, yep, I see it.
I believe it's on the roof plan.
Mm-hmm.
You have some comments?
Never hurts. You can always, more ventilation definitely helps us here in Florida.
Are we required to have that triangular vented attic, or it's just a suggestion?
No, it's just a suggestion.
So if the owner opts not to do it, it's okay?
Yeah.
Good morning, Juan from Maryland Properties. The only issue we've had in the past was triangular.
I'm sorry, sir, if you don't mind,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Good morning, Juan from Maryland Properties.
And your name, please?
Juan Hernandez from Maryland Properties. Juan Hernandez from Maryland Properties, good morning. So, yeah, that'll be awesome, except that will have to be a custom built because we tried looking for those triangular and with a pitch and so forth that fit precisely. And it will have to be a completely custom type of build. This is not as easily accessible to just buy one at that angle, but that was my only comment.
They said it was optional.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. We are going to close the public portion and go to the committee portion. Any committee discussion?
I move for approval.
Okay.
Can I just clarify, was that motion to approve with conditions as recommended by staff, or just
Staff
outright?
recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
And if I may add to that clarification, and you understand that the staff recommendation, the conditions that were just placed on the screen, those would be mandatory. The conversation about the vent is not included in this set of conditions, but these conditions here would be required, and you
Yes, sir.
understand that?
Understood. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think he understood that early on when we asked. so-
Yes, ma'am.
But thanks for double checking.
So we have a motion and a second to approve per staff recommendations. Is there any discussion?
I just wanted to ask who seconded that. Thank you.
No, Cesar did, sorry.
Oh, Cesar.
You're right.
Okay.
I missed
You
it.
got it.
Then we will go to a roll call. Myself, approve. Chris Olson,
Approved.
Lynn Dennis,
For the motion.
Landis Fleming,
4.
Cesar Perez.
For the motion.
And it has passed. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Go forth and build.
Thank you, Ms. Emily. Thank you, board. Have a good day.
Our next case is HPB 22-177, 205 Ariana Street. Final approval is requested for the new construction of a single-family house at this address. The applicant owner is Hulbert Homes Incorporated. And are there any committee conflicts on this? Seeing none, Emily, would you read the staff report and recommendation, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. So the subject property is an interior lot of record, which is 50 feet wide by 125.35 feet deep and consists of 0.14 acres. This lot is currently vacant and has alley access at the rear or north side of the property. The applicant requests to build a one-story, single-family house consisting of approximately 1,805 square feet of living area. The home will feature a neo-traditional aesthetic reflecting bungalow stylistic elements, such as a hipped main roof with a gable front porch supported by tapered columns on brick plinths, front facade windows with a 3/1 light configuration, and a quarter light front door. An attached garage is proposed at the rear elevation of the house, which will be accessed by the alley. And this is just a floor plan of the proposed house. So materials proposed for the new house include a concrete stem wall foundation raised 8 inches above grade, hardy lap siding with a 6-inch exposure, and hardy shingle siding in the front porch gable, cementitious siding excuse me, on the rear elevations of the house and garage and left elevations of the garage, hardy trim and casing, vinyl single hung sash windows, fiberglass quarter light front door and full light rear door, and steel garage door. Also fiberglass architectural shingles on the 5/12 pitch roof with a foam gable bracket, hardy or wood fascia, and a vinyl soffit. And the porch will have a concrete floor and steps with hardy wrapped tapered columns on brick veneered plinths. And the exterior paint color palette was provided as listed. The site plan proposed for the proposed new construction shows orientation of the home's front facade towards Ariana Street. The proposed building setbacks and porch depth for the house meet the Land Development Code's urban neighborhood standards. And this request was evaluated using the standards and guidelines referenced here. Adjacent to the subject property along Ariana Street exists several one-story houses that exhibit the bungalow frame vernacular and masonry vernacular styles. Staff finds that the proposed new house is compatible in massing and scale to contributing bungalow houses found throughout the Dixieland Historic District. The scale and proportion of the architectural elements of the house, including roof pitch and floor-to-ceiling heights, is also compatible with adjacent structures. Staff finds that the proposed materials are consistent with residences in the surrounding neighborhood and the design guidelines. The design of the house displays a neo-traditional style that is compatible with the architectural character of the district. Features such as the front gabled porch supported by tapered columns on brick plinths, lap siding, windows with a 3/1 light configuration, and a quarter-light front door are consistent with historical architectural styles found in the neighborhood, as well as with the design guidelines. However, for design consistency on all 4 sides of the house, staff recommends that the hardy lap siding be continued on the rear elevation of the house. The left side and rear elevations of the garage, however, may be clad in the cementitious finish. Finally, the proposed placement of the house on the lot is consistent with the design guidelines and urban neighborhood standards in terms of orientation, building setbacks, and porch depth. The front setbacks of the house on either side of the subject property are 22 feet, and that's 207 Ariana Street, and 23 feet, which is 201 Ariana Street, which demonstrates compatibility with the building setbacks of the proposed home of 20 feet at the front porch and 23 feet at the face of the exposed front elevation. So staff recommends final approval of the request with the following conditions to be reviewed and approved by staff prior to permitting. Number 1, increase the foundation height of the house to at least 21 inches above grade per the Land Development Code standards and design guidelines. The foundation may be clad in a painted cementitious finish. Number 2, windows on the side and rear elevations shall feature the same divided light configuration as well as trim and casing as the windows on the front elevation. Number 3, windows shall comply with the following requirements. A, windows must have exterior mounted muntins where a simulated divided light window is shown. B, windows must be recessed to provide a shadow line and not installed flush to the exterior wall surface. C, windows must also include historically appropriate trim, including header, sill, and apron. And number 4, continue use of hardy lap siding on the rear elevation of the house. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Is the applicant here, and would you like to come to the front? And are you in agreement with this? Do you have commentary?
Yes, we're in agreement. Megan Ray, 5116 South Lakeland Drive. We are in agreement with everything, and we've made the changes already, so.
Okay. Is there any public comment for support or opposition to the request from the audience?
Emily, did we have any comment from any Dixieland citizens?
No, we didn't receive any comment from
Okay.
Dixieland.
Any comment? Okay. And we're going to then move from the public portion to the committee portion of this. Does the committee have any questions for the applicant?
On the site plan, there's a brick retaining wall, and when I zoom into the lot, I see some little, I don't know what it is, concrete block little wall thing. Is that necessary? Oh, that's a much better picture. Is that necessary? I guess the house next to it has it, but the other one doesn't. It doesn't look really sloped. I don't know what the rules are for retaining walls, but.
Yeah, I think it was noted on the site plan.
Yeah.
Just as recorded by the surveyor.
Okay.
I don't know if the applicant's
Is it
intention is to
staying? Is
stay.
it going? Is it getting a refresh?
I will have to confirm about that. I don't think it needs a stem wall. It shouldn't, so I would say we're not keeping it.
You're just talking about that cinder block.
Yeah, that cinder
Right
block
there
wall.
along the sidewalk.
Because it's noted on the site plan, but if it's not necessary, to me, it's just clutter and weeds get in it and then it looks, it's just maintenance.
Oh, it looks like there is an elevation change if you look at the house next door.
Yeah, I see next door and then the other side doesn't have it.
Right.
It looks like it would actually probably be better if it didn't exist in the first place, because I'm assuming it slopes towards the street. And that's really, you can kind of see how it's pulling away some of the grass right around that tree there. Probably better if it wasn't there.
In the right side, there's, remnants of it, like the first layer.
I'll have to confirm if that's being removed.
And I don't think, are we?
No, that's just.
It's
That's
just
just a
commentary?
comment. Yeah.
Okay.
We're big on
Architectural.
comments. It's really good if you kind of get this, I'm not saying you have to, but.
The more the merrier.
Okay, so then,
Move for approval.
yes, so
This is my entire job is moving any motion.
Yes, so if we can move for motion to approve and second.
I move that we accept according to staff recommendations.
I second that.
Okay. And any discussion otherwise?
If they want to get rid of the retaining wall, do they have to have permission?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just to consider it random
Yeah.
cement blocks.
Yeah. Yeah, retaining.
Okay, and then a roll call. Myself, Melinda Rinker, vote to approve. Chris Olson,
Approved.
Lynn Dennis,
For the motion?
Landis Fleming,
For,
Cesar Perez,
For the motion.
and you are approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have made my first day at this very simple. Thank you.
They started out slow, only 2 things.
I know, right?
5 things controversial. But don't get too used to this.
I know, right? Much appreciated, thank you. And then my understanding is that our third case has been held off for right now.
Yes, the HBB 22-178 322 South Indiana, that has been withdrawn by the applicant.
Okay, and so then,
I did have a couple of points I just wanted to share with that.
okay, go right ahead.
In review that the staff did, it was talking about, deferred maintenance. There was nothing that indicated the house was needing to be torn down or destroyed. No termite damage, nothing like that. The owner has owned that lot for the last 20 years. The owner applicant. So if there's any deferred maintenance, it's his fault. Tearing it down and leaving a lot, although he purchased it at like $30,000 20 years ago, it's worth over $300,000 now. So he's losing $300,000 to create an empty lot for no apparent reason,
Right. And
with his own self-inflicted deferred maintenance.
I would ask that we not comment on this case any further because it may be coming back to the board. It just has been withdrawn from today's agenda.
Okay,
I only have one more.
okay, and then I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
A second?
Second. We'll switch. Just know, Cesar and I will alternate.
I'll approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Oh, nay, we're here for a while. Thank you all very much, and we are adjourned.
Thank you, and good job to both of our chairs.
Congratulations.
First day.